Hi everyone! Like I mentioned in one of my recent videos, recently I've decided that I don't actually like filming wrap-ups. So what I've decided to do is to try and do like mini wrap-ups, and what by that I mean every time I finish 3 books I'm gonna put up a video, like mini wrap-up, mini sort of review type of thing on the 3 books that I have read, and I'm hoping it's gonna work for me better because like I mentioned before, I just don't like the format of doing it monthly, because sometimes by the time the time has passed, I don't always remember the details, or I don't always feel like talking about those books. But whilst they're still fresh in my mind, I like to talk about them. And also I feel like 3 books in one video is not overwhelming, whilst if there are more, then that can get a little bit longer or something. I don't know how long this video is going to be, because I don't know how much into detail I'm going to get with the books, but we're going to find out, I guess, and hopefully this format works better, because I think that's going to work better. I do have some plans for my channel to like changes wise, but I'm not too sure yet, so I might talk to you about that a bit later at some point in a later video, when I actually have like solidify those plans and know what I'm actually doing, what I want to be doing on my channel. But there are going to be some changes, nothing too drastic, nothing too original, but just something that would work hopefully better for me, which will make me want to make more videos, and something I'm actually interested in as well, and hopefully go more into details about books in general, because that's the kind of thing I like watching. I like when people go into detail with books, but I don't necessarily want to film long videos, if that makes any sense. So we'll see how it works. So today is definitely one of those times when I'm going to try and do something new and talk about the 3 books that I read recently. So the first one that I read is Sleeping Giants by Sylvain Neuvel, which is a sci-fi novel. It's set in like an interview format and a bit of mixed media here and there as well, like sometimes it could be an article of some sort or something else. So the plot of this book starts with our main character, who is a young girl to start with. One day she falls into like a hole in the ground, and there is a massive metal hand in there, which then later on, when the scientists try to learn more about it and all of that, predates all of the like humanity. So now they're wondering where it came from, who put it there, why it's there, and all of that. So there is that mystery element added to it as well. I did really enjoy the format of interviews, because it's fast going and it's just constantly changing. In every bit we find out new information and all of that. So I think the format does really work, and it makes it so fast paced, so exciting at the same time. We don't really know who the interviewer guy is. We don't really know what exactly he's doing, why he's doing that, why he's like investigating and all of that stuff. And obviously I can't say a lot because I still want to keep this spoiler free. Obviously it's like mini review, I guess. But yes, so that was definitely interesting. The plot was intriguing. I was intrigued throughout the whole time, pretty much, like why is this hand there? And all of the discoveries that later on happened were quite exciting as well. The only thing that I didn't like about this book is sometimes it felt a little bit choppy. So like for me, if there's an event happening, some big discovery or some consequences of something happening, we don't see it happen, we are just told after it's happened. And for me it felt like, oh, but I wanted to see how that happened, how it turned out, how it even came to that point, but we didn't get to see that. So it would be just literally choppy, and like I said, aftermaths of what's happened is what we see, but not the actual thing a lot of the time. So to me that was missing, and if I did see those things actually happen, I think I would have been so much more excited, so much more interested, so much more at the edge of my seat, whilst otherwise it just felt like, oh, but this already happened. So like, do you know what I mean? Just like excitement sort of died away for me, at least. I don't know how about other people. I did give this one only 3 stars, and I don't think I'm going to carry on with the series because I'm just not interested enough in it. I mean, it was interesting, it was entertaining, but by the end of the book I started to lose interest in it. So I definitely know that I do enjoy the format of interviews and mixed media. That makes it so much more exciting, so much more interesting. But unfortunately, because of the missing excitement, I didn't love the book, and I don't want it to carry on with the series, unfortunately. The next book that I finally finished is Spinning Silver by Naomi Novik. This is a gorgeous edition, and it's also signed as well. My husband gifted it to me at some point a while ago, so now I finally read it. And this is like a Rumpelstiltskin sort of retelling, just with a female character. There are a lot of Slavic vibes in there as well. In this book we follow Miriam, who is a daughter of a moneylender, but he's more of a soft-hearted, so he doesn't basically ask for money when he's supposed to. So now she's, because they're starving, because they're struggling to survive essentially, she takes over and goes to collect the money. And she's really good at it, to the point that there are rumors that she can turn silver into gold. So now the Winter Fairy King hears about it and goes to make a deal with her. If she fails, she dies, but if she wins, it could be worse, fate worse than death. Then we also have a point of a different character in here, whose name is Irina, funnily enough, my name as well. So we follow her story as well, and their fates sort of intertwine, and they try to figure out the way of dealing with the situation sort of together. What I can definitely say about this book is so atmospheric. Honestly, I felt like I was in that Winter Kingdom, especially the Winter Kingdom descriptions. They were so great, and so like almost felt like time frozen there because of the descriptions, how vivid it all was, and the writing style in general I think added to the atmosphere and the vibe of the story as well. That was my favorite part of the story, definitely. I can definitely say it's a slow-paced story, so please don't expect anything like action-packed. I don't think there's a lot of that in here. It's a much more slower progress. We get different points of view in this book as well, and at times it did sort of get confusing a few times, but it wasn't like overwhelming, and you do catch up after a page or two whose perspective you're reading it from. Some perspectives did feel a little bit unnecessary in my opinion, but I guess they maybe added something to the story, just like another perspective, not to be in that character's point of view, but seeing that character from a different point of view, from somebody else. So I guess that sort of added different layers to the story as well, which might have actually added to the atmosphere and made it more atmospheric again. So yeah, I gave this one 4 stars. It was definitely beautifully written, felt the atmosphere, like I said, I felt like I was in that Winter Kingdom, and yeah, so I did enjoy it. It wasn't like a 5-star book, it wasn't anything mind-blowing, but it was definitely interesting, and I don't think it's a book that you can really read like very quickly. It took me a while to read it, but that's because I had to stop to study for something. And then even then, whilst reading that one, then I felt like I needed to read something different, so that's when I started Sleeping Giants, because I just wanted something fast-paced. But it's not to say that it's a bad book by any means at all. It's good, it's really good. It's just a slower paced novel. I think it's one of those that you just have to sort of savor to feel the atmosphere and to get to know the characters and just be in that world in general, which was really, really nice. So yeah, and the third book I'm going to be talking about today is Gallant by V.E. Schwab. This is a gorgeous edition, honestly. Look at these sprayed edges as well. I'm hoping the camera is focusing. Even on the back it's really pretty, and in here as well is so pretty. The hardcover itself has a little illustration here. My edition is also signed. So I had a bit of mixed feelings about V.E. Schwab, because I DNF'd the Archived by her. I read like 70 pages and DNF'd it. Then I listened to the audiobook of, what was it, Tunnel of Bones, City of Ghosts, one of those. and I think I DNF'd the second one, but not because it was a bad book or anything. It's just because, again, me and audiobooks just don't always work. I sometimes stop halfway through and don't carry on. But I would like to reread them actually, because they were great. I think the creepy sort of atmosphere, she's great at that, so I do enjoy those kind of books. So I do need to maybe buy the physical copies and just reread the whole series of that. But this one, wow, this one took me by surprise by quite a lot. I did think I was going to enjoy it, but I really, really enjoyed it, to the point that I gave it 4.5 stars, and I will explain why it wasn't quite a 5-star. So in this book we follow our main character, whose name I already forgot, Olivia. So yeah, she's 16 years old. She lives in like an orphanage or a school for girls. One day she gets a letter from her uncle inviting her to Gallant. He says how she's wanted, how she's got a family there, how she can go and stay there. So she goes there to Gallant, only to find out that the letter is actually years old. Her uncle is dead, the estate is empty apart from a couple of servants there. She's allowed to stay, however she has to obey the 2 rules. One of them is don't go out after dusk, and another one is to always stay on one side of the crumbling wall, not to go beyond the wall. She can also see ghouls, I think is how you pronounce that. They're essentially like ghost type things, not exactly, but I don't want to spoil anything. And also she can't talk. I've never read a book in which the main character doesn't speak, so that was actually quite a unique experience, and I think it was done really well. But honestly, this book, the atmosphere of this book is so great, so vivid. This is so my type of book, like my type of atmosphere. The creepy Gallant estate, how all of it was described, how there was added mystery constantly to one thing or another. Like, why did she get that letter much later? Why is her uncle dead? Why there's nobody lives there? What the hell is going on with the wall? And why are you not allowed to go outside like after dusk and all of that? It's amazing. I did really also enjoy our main character. She seemed really... I liked her, basically, is what I can say. And I think I do enjoy books in which there are not many characters as well. So I think, in my point of view, it makes it slightly more, feels more isolated and feels more personal. I love that. And especially considering it's a massive house, and the fact that she can see ghouls, Gowl, whatever the name is, I don't know. It's just... again, adding to the mystery, adding to the atmosphere. I love the atmosphere of this book. Honestly, this was like mesmerizing. I pretty much finished it in one day, and I never do that. And it's a 300-page book. To me, that's really impressive. I can't remember last time I read a book in one day if it wasn't like a children's book. I think this is a YA book. But honestly, I just sat there for like 3 hours straight without a break reading the book. Then I had to stop and do something else. Then I finished it in the evening. But oh my god, I genuinely could not put it down. And also I forgot to mention, there are quite a few illustrations throughout it as well. I'm going to show you some of them. Some of the pages are like that, so before like parts, when it's different parts. There's a diary entry at some point in the middle of the book, so we've got that as well. And yeah, so we do have illustrations as well. And of course they do add more to the story. The reason why I gave it 4.5 rather than 5 stars is just towards the end, when we find out what's happening exactly, sort of my interest then sort of slightly lessened. Maybe because we know now, so it's nothing to do with the book. It's just because I think it was building up, and I just loved that build up, that mystery, that atmosphere. But when we found out, it was a little bit like, went down for me at least. Not that it was a bad decision whatsoever, it was still quite like creepy in a way and interesting. It's just, for some reason it just didn't quite make me feel all the feels, you know what I mean? But it was a great book. I definitely can see myself rereading it at some point, and I do think it might be definitely one of my favorite books of the year, because it was just great. Loved it. It's great, honestly. It's really good. Definitely my kind of style, definitely my kind of atmosphere. So what I've learned from this book is definitely I enjoy books which don't have many characters. We concentrate on the atmosphere, we concentrate on the plot, and we concentrate on the couple of characters and their friendships, relationships that they make is what I actually also enjoy. So yeah, this was a great one. Please let me know what you think of this format. Does it work better for you or worse? Please let me know. Any sort of feedback would be nice to hear. Personally, I enjoyed it more because I feel like I can talk more in detail about the books, and they're still fresh in my mind and it's not overwhelming, so I can just sit here, talk about 3 books and then just get on with my day. So yeah. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you for watching. Bye.